Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right in today because we are tackling a massive showdown in the telecom space. It's a comparison that honestly comes up all the time for enterprise leaders. VoiceBuy versus Twilio. Now, if you've been evaluating infrastructure lately, you've definitely seen both of these names. But putting them in the same box, well, it's literally like comparing apples and oranges.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because asking which is actually better, well, that's the exact trap so many buyers fall into. People want a simple winner and loser, right? They want a clean, feature-by-feature battle. But as we unpack the architecture, the target markets, and the core philosophies of these two heavyweights, you're going to see exactly why that question completely misses the mark.
The reality here? Framing VoiceBuy and Twilio as direct competitors is just fundamentally flawed. As our sources brilliantly point out, they were built from the ground up for totally different customers. Sure, they both operate in the voice communications market, but their end goals and the actual problems they solve are miles apart. So here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. 1. The VoIP comparison trap. 2. Understanding the platforms. 3. The feature face-off. 4. Quality, costs, and scale. And finally 5. The final verdict.
All right, Section 1, the VoIP comparison trap.
Look, evaluating providers purely on permanent rates is a massive trap. It's so tempting, right? You look at a pricing sheet, find the lowest fraction of a cent, and just sign the contract. But ignoring long-term value and operational stability, that's a huge mistake. A cheap route with a terrible answer-seizure ratio, high post-dial delay, or random quality drops is going to end up costing you so much more in failed calls and angry customers. True value actually comes from network stability, global coverage, and intelligent routing. Price just isn't everything.
Moving on to Section 2, understanding the platforms.
Let's start with VoiceBuy. This is a true heavyweight platform dedicated entirely to wholesale VoIP. We're talking about serious, carrier-grade telecom infrastructure here. Think heavy-duty SIP termination, crazy routing optimization, and the pure operational muscle needed to efficiently move millions of minutes around the globe. VoiceBuy isn't trying to be some lightweight app add-on. It is foundational telecom plumbing. Now, Twilio, on the other hand, is a CPaaS, a communications platform as a service. Twilio's entire DNA is about being a hyper-flexible, developer-first environment. They give software engineers programmable APIs to seamlessly weave voice, SMS, and video right into their web or mobile apps. It's incredibly agile, it's dynamic, and it's literally designed to make a developer's life a million times easier. So when you put them side by side, the contrast in their target audiences is pretty stark. VoiceBuy is built for telecom operators, MVNOs, and wholesale carriers. Twilio, they target software developers, startups, and SaaS platforms. They both deal in voice, for sure, but the people actually sitting at the keyboard using these platforms are living in two entirely different universes.
Which brings us to Section 3, the feature face-off.
Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is seeing where each platform shines. VoiceBuy completely dominates the carrier features, things like wholesale VoIP, SIP termination, and carrier routing, unmatched. But flip over to API platforms, SMS, and developer tools, and Twilio easily takes the crown. They both excel at global voice, but as you can see, they arrive there through completely different technical paths. Let's look a little closer at VoiceBuy's core services. We're talking hosted soft switches, cloud IMS, and advanced carrier routing. And these aren't just fancy buzzwords. They are absolute necessities when you're terminating international voice traffic at massive scale. It's basically the heavy-duty logistics of the telecom world. If your business model is buying and selling international traffic, these are the global shipping containers you need to actually maintain profit margins. Meanwhile, Twilio brings a totally different toolkit to the table. Its flexibility really shines with use cases like embedding click-to-call buttons into an app, setting up automated appointment reminders, sending two-factor authentication texts, or building voice bots. It perfectly serves businesses that just want to drop communication natively into their software without having to build a giant telecom network from scratch. All right, Section 4, quality, cost, and scale. When it comes to pricing, it really boils down to long-term value versus upfront cost. VoiceBuy uses a carrier-focused wholesale model. That means as your volume hits millions of minutes, their pricing gets incredibly attractive. Twilio, though, relies on a usage-based pay-as-you-go model. That's fantastic if you're a software company scaling up incrementally. It's essentially the difference between buying wholesale bulk capacity and paying a premium for highly customized digital building blocks. And we absolutely have to talk about call quality, because it's way more than just the audio codecs you're using. Real success is dictated by route selection, carrier partnerships, avoiding network congestion, and managing things like latency and jitter. This is exactly where VoiceBuy's routing intelligence steps up. Because their whole infrastructure is built for wholesale traffic, they have the deep carrier partnerships required to maintain high answer seizure rates and keep that latency super low.
So the crucial point is this. Both platforms scale beautifully, but they scale totally different operational priorities. VoiceBuy scales high-volume carrier voice operations, taking you smoothly from 1 million to 50 million minutes a month. Twilio? It's built to scale flexible cloud communications, letting your app handle thousands of concurrent API requests without breaking a sweat. So you're either scaling a massive telecom pipeline or a highly complex web of software endpoints.
And that brings us to Section 5, the final verdict.
Based on all our sources, the dividing line is actually super clear. You should absolutely choose VoiceBuy if you operate a telecom business, an MVNO, or an ISP. If your day-to-day involves buying and selling international traffic, or you need carrier-grade SIP termination to handle giant monthly call volumes, VoiceBuy is literally the specialized solution built exactly for that job.
On the flip side, you should go with Twilio if you're building software products or SaaS platforms. If you need programmable APIs to send automated SMS worldwide, or if you want to drop voice calling directly into a mobile app, Twilio is the undisputed champion. It's the premier tool for developers who want to write code, not manage complicated carrier routing tables.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty critical question to ask yourself. Based on your long-term growth plans, are you choosing the right platform, or are you just paying for features you don't actually need? Take the time to understand your traffic, know your customers, and pick the tool built for the actual job you're doing. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.